Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're changing out the transmission mount. I told you guys last time that we were doing the engine mount and the transmission mount from Damond, and plus the factory transmission mount, and it's pretty well blown out, just about as good as the engine mount was. So I'm going to show you what tools you need, tell you all the torque specs, and give you a step-by-step process on how to swap out this transmission mount for Damond. Let's just get into it. Step one, let me remove our battery cover. Take 10 mil and disconnect the battery. There's two 10 millimeter bolts. There's one here and there's one out of the frame here. We're going to take those off for the battery hold down. Battery hold down on, take it out of the way. Next, we're going to remove our intake. Every intake's a little bit different, so this is an FS Works on my car. Next, we're going to take our battery completely out. So, a couple different ways you can do this. I'm just going to disconnect that so I can get it all the way up out of the way. Don't necessarily have to do that, but this battery box you lift up, and it kind of does. You pull these out while you're lifting up, and you just pull this back. The battery will slide up out of here. So we're going to remove the 3 bolts that hold the battery box down. All 3 of them are 10 millimeters. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one down in there. Down into the abyss. Now, battery box just lifts and kind of wiggles up out of here. And voila, there's our transmission. This guy right here is what we're changing. This is the battery support bracket. It's held on by 4 15 millimeter bolts. We're going to take those off. There's one here, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Battery box is out. Before we take off those 4 15 millimeters, we are going to support the transmission with a jack. We go under the car. We're going to move a jack in here. We're going to support the transmission. Not a ton of pressure, just to support it. Make sure you have a rubber pad or a piece of wood in there so it doesn't damage the case. Now that our transmission is supported, we're going to take 15 millimeter. We're going to take these nuts off. Nuts through a socket somebody lost working on this thing. 10 millimeter Craftsman, how about that? Bonus pieces. There's a plastic connector here on the side. We're just gonna pop that off. And there's another plastic clip here. Pop that off as well. And then snake our battery support bracket up out of there. Set that off to the side. This is the unit we're replacing, and if you can see right there, see if the camera will focus on it. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Next, we're going to take an 18 millimeter, take out that center bolt. And then come up back here. Now, crack down here at the base, crack down there at the base. Oh yeah, that's nice. Next, we got to take off these 3 bolts holding this bracket to the transmission. And there's one tucked up underneath this ear right here. That one might be a little tricky to get to. You might have to shift the transmission forward. I think I'm going to use a crow's foot on it, we'll see. But these are all 15 millimeters, and all 3 of these have to come off for our next step. All right, see if the big impact will knock off. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it will. No problemo. Kind of funny what happens when you use the right tools on stuff. Zip these two the rest of the way out. This is what I used, 15mm wobble socket, impact grade, hit it with the impact, came right off. Pull the bracket up out of there. It's our stock bracket. All right, now that we got all three of those bolts out, we're going to set the Damond transmission mount in. Make sure you have it assembled correctly. Make sure these 15mm bolts are torqued to 45 foot-pounds before you put it in here, okay? We're going to take the supplied spacer. We're going to set it on the forwardmost bolt, the one that was kind of a pain to get to. It's the one it's sitting on. Drop the mount down into place, making sure not to knock that spacer out of the way. Damond sends us 2 bolts. Those 2 bolts are going to go into the holes that don't have the spacer on it. We're going to take a factory bolt that we just took out. We're going to put it in the hole that has the spacer in it. And I'm going to take a 15mm, I'm going to run those all down, and then after that we're going to break the torque wrench out and those get torqued to 55 foot-pounds. And again, wobble socket, buy you one, it makes your life so much easier. The next step is to grab our top transmission plate and the bolt that goes through the bushing, drop it down in there. Here. There you go. It only goes in one way. The bolts are staggered, so it only sets down in there one way. Yep, that's exactly what you gotta do. All right. Jack it up a little bit on the transmission, a little bit higher than you were thinking you were gonna need to. So the number one complaint I've heard from people on installing this mount is this exact process that I just went through. So what I had to do is these 4 bolts, or studs I guess, these 4 studs don't have the nuts on them. The 3 on the bottom are completely torqued to spec. I have the jack underneath the car, and I jacked everything up as far as it would until it started lifting the car. I then pushed down on the bracket and put this screwdriver in right next to it, and I had to just give it a little pressure towards the front of the car while I had pressure pushing in on the bolt, and it popped through. All right, now we're going to tighten this down. 16mm socket, 19mm wrench, and we're going to torque it down to 70 foot-pounds. Take that 19mm wrench, 16mm socket. We're going to torque these down to 70 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to take our battery bracket. We're going to slide that back in there onto the studs. The wires are out of the way. Go ahead and click that one on there so I don't forget about it. Then we're going to take those 4 15mm nuts. Start all 4 of them by hand. Take those 4 15mm nuts, we're going to torque them down to 40 foot-pounds. We're going to slide our battery box back in there next. Put our 3 10mm bolts back in. These guys don't really have to be torqued to nothing. They're just holding the battery box on, so they're just tight. You have an FS Works intake on your car? Comment on the video, let me know. Never seen anybody else with an FS Works intake on their car, so maybe just hate. Now after it's all done, can't even really tell. Can't even hardly see it from the top, nothing. This part's definitely if you know, you know. However, you know what they say? If you end up with a pile of bolts when you're done, that just means that you designed it better than the engineers did. And a 10mm. This is weight reduction. This is the first test drive with the Damond engine mount and transmission mount. Live reactions here. Off rep, I notice more NVH for sure. One thing I notice, slow speeds. I hear like, I don't want to call it gear whine, but gear whine. Like you can hear the transmission gears or feel it. That's the NVH difference that I see right off the bat. Every time I change something, right? So the engine mount highlighted the transmission mount. And now that I've done the engine mount and the transmission mount, it's really highlighting my bad struts. Because before, there was a whole bunch of noises. Engine mount was making noises, transmission mount was making noises, struts are making noises. Now there's no... Cannot complain. I even spun through second there and it like... That feeling would have resulted in wheel hop before, and I got a little shake, but there wasn't necessarily a hop. That was pretty nice. Definitely not as big of a difference going from the completely thrashed engine mount to that versus the quality our transmission mount was in to this. Makes a difference for sure, and it needed to be done, but I saw a bigger difference when we did the engine mount for sure. No, this feels good. The car feels solid now. Probably should because it's got solid mounts all the way down. So, car feels solid. You can feel it. Like I like it. Can't say that I'd recommend this mount over the engine mount if you had to pick one. If I had to pick one, I'm doing the engine mount all day long. Staying with the stock transmission mount and doing a Damond engine mount. That's all day, no questions. If you want to get all of the power put down to the ground and you want to take all the drivetrain slop out, worth it. The route I'm going with this car, I wanted it to be solid. I wanted it to be firm. That's why I went Damond, and they deliver on exactly that. But I am excited. Just tell you a little bit about what's going on while we're driving back to the house. Clutch feel solid. I will say that both of them together, the clutch is money. If you want good solid clutch feel, do both mounts 100%. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I think everybody's gonna be really excited with what's happening with the car. Making this on Saturday. In 2 days, I'm going to drop the car off over at Kenton in Houston. Max, the owner, is going to sponsor the wrap job on the car. So welcome to the build, Max. All in all, I think I give this mount a 9 out of 10. Like I said, it's not as big of a difference as the engine mount was, but the transmission mount is a very solid quality product. Okay, don't get me wrong on that. If you only had the option of one, go the engine mount, for sure. If you want to do all the mounts, Damond doesn't miss. My brother-in-law has a JBR on his car, and I'm not impressed whatsoever. Damond on this car, my wife's car has an AWR on it, I believe. It's black. I don't know. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like and hit that bell. That'll let you know every time I post a video, and I got a lot coming. I got the wrap job coming. I got coilovers coming. I got an aero kit coming. I got a crash bar coming. If you want to see focus content, this is going to be the channel for you, okay? Hit the subscribe button, like the video, drop a comment on what kind of content you want to see next. Is there a certain mod you want to do to your car that you want to see put on? You just want a review on it? What do you want? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay built, stay boosted. I'll catch you in the next one.